Welcome back to Wacky, Wild, Insane News with Tyler and
Tyler,
Jordan. You
Jordan.
forgot your name again.
I know. Got to work on that.
All right. Oh, no, I don't want to add a PDF. Close that.
You sure?
Yes.
All right.
All right. Do you want me to start? I am in the
Absolutely.
past.
You are in the past.
We're going back to the 1910s.
Ah, that was a good decade.
It was. And my first article is about American hippo farming.
Yes.
Yes. In March 1910, the U.S. Congress held a hearing to consider H.R. 23261, a bill introduced by Louisiana congressmen that would create hippo meat industry in America by transporting hundreds of hippos from Africa to the marshes along the Gulf Coast. Experts testified that hippo flesh tasted splendid and could be made into a delicacy called lake cow bacon. However, Congress ran out of time to vote and funding the project, and the bill was never reintroduced.
Can't imagine that would pass muster.
Today.
Water cow meat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Like I've heard of hungry, hungry hippos, but eating them
Yeah.
doesn't. No.
Yeah. What you got for me?
Well, I got ads popping up just as I'm
Oh,
about to
so you want
talk.
me to go to another one?
No, I got it. This one comes from Maine. Weather beatdown leaves towering Maine landmark surrounded by crime scene tape.
Ooh.
Yeah. Crime scene tape surrounds the Skowhegan Indian, a local landmark in Maine, after an assault by Mother Nature. The towering wooden sculpture is missing part of its face and arm, as well as a spear. The damage is to believe have been caused by wild weather and a windstorm. The 62-foot sculpture depicts a Wabanaki fisherman and was completed in 1969 by artist Bernard Langlaise, a student and teacher at the Skowhegan School of Painting and Sculpture, the Chamber of Commerce said.
I think
Before it was
it's
damaged, the fisherman,
Scowegen.
Sco, maybe Scowegian, I would say Skowhegan,
I
but
just
maybe it's
wanted to
Scowegian.
correct you.
Okay, well, you honestly could be right. Before it was damaged, the fisherman was holding a spear in one hand and a fishing weir or trap in the other. The face was damaged months ago, and a February 28th/29th windstorm knocked off part of the sculpture's arm and the spear it held. The sculpture was last restored a decade ago. The chamber is now trying to figure out how to fund another restoration. Luke York, who chairs the board of directors of the Skowhegan Regional Chamber of Commerce, told the Morning Sentinel newspaper. The sculpture remains an icon in the community, which renamed the mascot of the high school, formerly known as the Indians. The high school sports teams are now called the Riverhawks.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
That's good. I approve of changing that name.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Music impregnated milk.
I'm sorry. Come again?
In, th- in this 1910 experiment, nine musicians played the Blue Danube, Danube,
Blue Danube.
Danube waltz and other selections while farmhands milked 61 jerseys and Holsteins. The result, the music calmed the nerves of the cows and their udders let down all the milk in them. Also, this milk tasted better and had more happy effect upon the drinkers than the milk served, which had not been music impregnated. Why why aren't the upscale food stores of today like Whole Foods selling music impregnated milk? I'm sure there are people who would spend the extra money for it.
Oh my goodness. I feel like that's something we still do though. Like play music for animals.
Yes, I we do for plants.
Right. So I feel like that still happens,
I don't know
which is
about for the
interesting.
cows.
Maybe maybe not the cows. I don't know. Who wouldn't want happy milk though?
Doesn't come from California.
I was just about to say, yeah, except for California, right? You ready for this one?
Am I
I
ever?
don't I don't think you are. Two women drove a man's body to a bank to withdraw his money, Ohio police say.
Oh.
Yes.
Eh, eh.
Two Ohio women have been accused of driving the body of a deceased 80-year-old man to a bank to withdraw money from his account before dropping off his body at a hospital.
What?
Uh-huh.
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yep.
Oh,
Karen Kasbaum, 63, and Lorraine B. Farello, 55, were charged Tuesday in Ashtabula with gross abuse of a corpse and theft from a person in a protected class, according to Ashtabula Municipal Court records.
that happened in Ashtabula?
Yes, and get this, the bank
Mm-hmm.
was my friend Daisha. She was the teller.
Oh my God.
She
Wait,
was
what? How did you not tell me about this before?
because I was waiting for a news episode.
What the heck?
Yeah.
How did she know? Like, what'd she do?
Well, he was a good customer of hers, but like they just had him in like the passenger seat, like a weekend at Bernie's kind of thing.
In the
You know,
car,
he was in the car. The dead body was in
not
the car.
inside. Oh my,
No, in a car through the drive-through.
oh my word.
Yep,
As okay, I managed a bank. That is hilarious.
isn't it?
I
She was really sad though because apparently he was a very good customer, like a nice
yeah.
person.
Could she, could she tell he was deceased?
No,
So
otherwise she wouldn't have done the.
they got the money?
Oh, they got the money. Yeah, I mean he was in the car.
Yeah, so
And
she
you
saw he
can't.
was there. Yeah.
Right, you can't necessarily, see that. Yeah, so police said they were called Monday evening and told that two women had dropped off a body at the Ashtabula County Medical Center emergency room without identifying the person or themselves. A few hours later, one of them contacted the hospital with information on the deceased, who was then identified as 80-year-old Douglas Lehman of Ashtabula. Officers responded to Lehman's residence and made contact with Casbom and Farello, who told them they had found Lehman deceased earlier at the home where all three resided. Police allege that, with the help of a third unnamed person, they placed Lehman in the front seat of his car and drove to a bank where they withdrew an undisclosed amount of money from his account.
Ooh.
Lehman's body was placed in the vehicle in such a manner that he would be visible to bank staff in order to make the withdrawal, Ashtabula Police Chief Robert Sell said in a news release Thursday. Stell told the Ashtabula Star Beacon that the bank had allowed this previously as long as they were accompanied by him.
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant Mike Palinkas told WEWS TV that one of the women had been in a live-in relationship with Lehman for several years, while the other had been staying there for a few months. The women said it was normal for them to take money from the account, but Palinkas said that he didn't have a full explanation for why they went there that day. Allegedly, they wanted to pay some bills, but outside of that, there wasn't a specific motivation provided, Palinkas said. Kasbaum was arraigned and ordered held on 5,000 bond while Farello is scheduled for arraignment next week. It's unclear whether they have attorneys. Numbers listed in their names have been disconnected. A message was sent to the county public defender's office seeking comment if the office was defending one or both. Police said they continue to investigate and other charges are possible. The coroner's office said an autopsy to determine the cause of Lehman's death could take up to 8 months.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so there you go. Local.
Wow.
They took him to the
Wow.
bank. Yeah, took him to the bank, dead,
I have no words.
and then
No
immediately
words.
went from the bank to the hospital, dropped off his body, and left.
Wow.
Yeah,
I love it.
it happened right here.
I am. Can I meet them? Um, wow. Oh, Ashtabula is a crazy place.
It is a crazy place.
Yeah. When George Albert Wilde of Australia died on January 23rd, 1911, his will instructed that his estate should be left to his children, but when they had all died, it should then be applied to the maintenance of a maternity home to be known as Wild Home and be available to the extent of its means to young women who have heired for the first time, but under no circumstance for the second occasion. Wilde's children all passed away by 1949, at which time the executors of his estate applied the remaining money to an institution superintended by Miss Cox, adjoining the Methodist Home for Girls at Brighton. Wilde had 5 children, but had never married any of their mothers. This probably had something to do with his unusual bequest.
Yeah,
What? So it'll help women have their first baby, but they can't be their second or third baby?
sure. What? Why does that matter? Who knows?
I don't know. Aired for the first time.
Aired for the first time.
Aired. That's the way he worded it.
Oh, like ERRED?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, they did he have 5 children by 5 different mothers, so each of them could have one child?
Maybe.
Hmm.
Seems kind of strange. But then again, we are reading the strange news, so.
That is true.
Mhm. How do animals react during a total solar eclipse? Scientists plan to find out in April. When a total solar eclipse of the heart transforms day into night, will tortoises start acting romantic? Will giraffes gallop? Will apes sing odd notes? Researchers will be standing by to observe how animals' routines at the Fort Worth Zoo in Texas are disrupted when the skies dim on April 8th. They previously detected other strange animal behaviors in 2017 at a South Carolina zoo that was in the path of total darkness. To our astonishment, most of the animals did surprising things, said Adam Hartstone Rose, a North Carolina State University researcher who led the observations published in the journal Animals. While there are many individual sightings of critters behaving bizarrely during historic eclipses, only in recent years have scientists started to rigorously study the altered behaviors of wild, domestic, and zoo animals. 7 years ago, Galapagos tortoises at the Riverbanks Zoo in Columbia, South Carolina, that generally do absolutely nothing all day, during the peak of the eclipse, they all started breeding, said Hartstone Rose. The
Oh,
cause of the behavior is still unclear. A mated pair of Siamangs gibbons that usually call to each other in the morning sang unusual tunes during the afternoon eclipse. A few male giraffes began to gallop in apparent anxiety. The flamingos huddled around their juveniles. Researchers said that many animals display behaviors connected with an early dusk. Oop. In April, Hartstone Rose's team plans to study similar species in Texas to see if the behaviors that they witnessed before in South Carolina point to larger patterns. Several other zoos along the path are also inviting visitors to help track animals, including zoos in Little Rock, Arkansas, Toledo, Ohio, and Indianapolis. This year's full solar eclipse in North America crisscrosses a different route than in 2017 and occurs in a different season, giving researchers and citizen scientists opportunities to observe new habits. It's really high stakes. We have a really short period to observe them, and we can't repeat the experiment, said Jennifer Saruda, a University of Tennessee entomologist who observed honeybee colonies during the 2017 eclipse. The honeybees that Saruda studied decreased foraging during the eclipse, as they usually would at night, except for those from the hungriest hives. During a solar eclipse, there's a conflict between their internal rhythms and the external environment, said University of Alberta's Olav Ruppel, adding that bees rely on polarized light from the sun to navigate. I love these names. Nate Bickford, an animal researcher at the Oregon Institution of
Don't
Technology.
say it like that. I will murder things.
Whoa! At the
Sorry.
Oregon Institute of Technology said that solar eclipses actually mimic short, fast-moving storms when the skies darken and many animals take shelter. After the 2017 eclipse, he analyzed data from tracking devices previously placed on wild species to study habitat use. Flying bald eagles change the speed and direction they're moving during an eclipse, he said. So do feral horses, probably taking cover, responding to the possibility of a storm out on the open plains. There you go.
I hope they mate.
Yeah, the Galapagos turtles.
Mm-hmm. We need more of those.
Truly.
Did you know that there was a war against kissing?
You know, I didn't, but it sounds feasible.
I had to read I Kissed Dating Goodbye in school.
Oh.
Back in 1911, Imogene. Ah, that's only my second time ever hearing that name. First
Wow.
time in The Marvelous Miss Maisel. Imogene Recton led a campaign against kissing. As leader of the World Health Organization, which to clarify had nothing to do with the UN. So her followers wore buttons that read "Kiss Not." One newspaper at the time remarked, judging by the facial features of the presidentess of the cult appearing in the public prints, she is immune without wearing the button.
Wow.
So mean.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, February 18th, the World Health Organization is waging a bitter war against kissing, arguing that the practices of is a menace to health. The president of the organization, Mrs. Imogene Recton, says that, for instance, the germs of consumption are spread by kissing. The organization has had buttons with the words "kiss not" printed therein, which signify that the wearer is a member of the organization and absolutely refuses to impress his lips against another's. Mrs. Recton says, the work of the World Health Organization is to show the people that the health of our nation demands that we protect ourselves. Do not kiss sick people. In the case of smallpox, the disease shows quickly after infection has taken place, but in consumption it does not. Therefore, do not kiss anyone. You are not sure by looking at a person whether he has consumption or not. He may not know it himself. Sometimes he is able to attend to his regular duties till the last. If with the expenditure of $30 million as we spent last year to conquer consumption, to say nothing of the heartaches of the loved ones gone forever, we could say we are now rid of the disease. Then the crusade against it would die a natural death. But with all this expenditure, we are still in the midst of it. We must be more active, more earnest, go to the source of the supply and stop passing the disease from one to another with our mouths. The pledge of the organization reads as follows: In order to encourage good health and lessen the spread of consumption, I desire to join the World Health Organization and hereby pledge myself to discourage the custom of kissing on the lips whenever it is in my power. Poor
Oh
girl.
my goodness.
She doesn't even need a button to not get a kiss.
Oh my. What a time to have been alive. Consumption. The old tuberculosis.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. No kissing. Or anything else, I guess. That's that's wild. Here's something that's wild too. What do you get, Tyler, when you cross rodeo with skiing?
Skeedio.
That's a one. I like that. The wild and wacky skijoring.
Oh no, Skajoring.
Oh yeah, skijoring.
Uh,
Nick Burry clicks into his ski bindings, squats to stretch his knees, and scans the snowy racecourse. Moments later, he's zipping past a series of gates at high speed and hurtling off jumps. But it's not gravity pulling him toward the finish line. It's the brute force of a quarter horse named Sirius. Welcome to skijoring, an extreme and quirky winter sport that celebrates the unlikely melding of rodeo and ski culture in the U.S. Mountain West. It's a heart-pumping, white-knuckle competition in which horses, and sometimes dogs, snowmobiles, and even cars tow skiers by ropes at speeds that can top 40 miles an hour over jumps as high as 8 feet and around obstacles as they try to land suspended hoops with a baton, typically a ski pole that's cut in half. Every winter, thousands of people converge on the old mining town of Leadville, Colorado, high in the Rocky Mountains, elevation 10,158 feet, lining downtown's Main Street and packing the saloons to witness one of the most popular skijoring races in the country. The spectacle, billed as the granddaddy of them all, has been a tradition here since 1949.
ooh,
It's just the pure adrenaline that gets me to do it. And then getting these two different groups of people together with the riders and the skiers. Usually they don't hang out, and getting them together, we mesh pretty well, said Burry, who wears fringed leather pants with his ski gear in a nod to the sport's Western vibe. Skijoring draws its name from the Norwegian word skikjoring, which means ski driving. I wonder if the J is a Y sound then, skijoring. I
maybe.
just figured it was a J since it was American, but if it's Norwegian, it might be skioring. Well, who knows? It started as a practical mode of transportation in Scandinavia and became popular in the Alps around 1900. So there you go.
I'm so glad. Uh, I lived there, sort of.
Yeah,
I mean, in Colorado.
right. Would you do that?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I'll try anything thrice.
That's right. Skioring.
1913, Charles Gilbert, imprisoned for 48 years for the murder of a bounty officer, was so determined to prove his innocence that he requested that his brain be examined after his death, believing that the investigation would corroborate his claim of innocence by revealing that such a brain as his could not have conceived or exercised the Caldwell murder.
Oh my goodness.
Scientists at Yale Medical School implied that his wish and complied with his wish and examined his brain. However, I've not yet been able to find any report of their findings.
Oh, you haven't?
It says that on here.
Oh,
They,
okay.
it doesn't look like they found anything.
Yeah, because there wouldn't be anything to find.
Mm-mm.
Because that's off of that old racist idea that skull sizes and brain sizes were all um,
Yeah.
correlated with the skin of your the color of your skin, I should say. Yeah, that was later proved to not be true.
Yes, of
So
course.
Oh my God. Well, he tried, but he died.
Yeah,
I wonder
yeah.
if he was actually guilty.
It, I would like to know.
Right. I would too. All right. Auburn student makes a 94-foot length of the court putt and wins a car.
Hmm.
Yeah. An Auburn University student connected on the long distance shot, draining a length of a basketball court putt on Saturday to win a car. Which, holy crap, that's such a long putt. Um, as someone who has played golf and cannot make a 1 foot putt
A 1 foot putt.
94 feet away,
How
that's
many
wild.
yards is that?
They
30?
don't actually say.
30 yards?
Well, a yard is 3 feet, so
Yeah.
yeah, 31 yards, 31 and a decimal yards. Connor Boyle made the 94-foot putt, rolling a golf ball from one baseline and through a sign next to the opposite basket during a promotion for the second half of Auburn's game with Georgia. Oh, so it was in the it was in the it wasn't actually on a green. It was in the
Hmm.
basketball. After the putt found the small opening on the sign, Boyle raced around the court celebrating while fans erupted and TV cameras showed Auburn guard KD Johnson looking from the bench with a stunned expression, mouth wide open.
Of course.
Boyle was the first winner of the promotion this season, winning a car from a local Toyota dealership. Craig Noyes, a writer for the university student-run site The Auburn Plainsman, won a car in the contest in February 2023. It was the first time a student made the putt since 2014. So there you go. No one made the putt for all that time, and then you have two nearly
Two.
a year apart from each other.
Wow.
Bet they won't be doing that competition much longer.
Oh,
Yeah, 94-foot putt. At least I'm assuming it was just on a flat green then, but still.
oh, I heard about this.
Yeah.
All right. One of the oddest parcel post packages ever sent was mailed from Grangeville to Lewiston, Idaho on February 19th, 1914. The 48.5 pound package was just short of the 50-pound limit. The name of the package was May Pierstorff, 3 months short of 6 years old. May's parents decided to send their daughter for a visit with her grandparents, but were reluctant to pay the train fare. Noticing that there were no provisions in the parcel post regulations specifically concerning sending a person through the mail, they decided to mail their daughter. The postage was 53 cents in parcel post stamps, was attached to May's coat. This little girl traveled the entire distance to Lewiston in the train's mail compartment and was delivered to her grandparents' home by the mail clerk on duty, Leonard Machel.
Is that the
And
end?
another
Oh.
human package discussed here on WU was Johann Beck, who in 1901 shipped himself across the Atlantic in a box. It's funny because there were actually in Europe several like people in within the same town
Mm-hmm.
would mail their children to like the grandparents' house from their house, and so the mail carrier would have to just take them from their house to the grandparents' house
What?
because there was no regulation on what you could mail.
What? How old was this kid again?
6, well, almost 6.
So they put a 6-year-old in a box.
I don't think they put her in a box. It says that they put the stamps attached to her coat, but she had to ride in the mail cart of the train instead of riding on the train to the grandparents' house.
Okay, so she wasn't actually in a box or
No, but the
a
guy mailed
package.
himself in a box.
Oh my God. I just, that poor kid. Like, what? You gotta, how did the kid eat? You
Well,
can't feed
they were
mail.
both in Idaho, so probably not very far. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
Like,
suppose, but like, wow.
yeah.
Imagine the mail's getting unruly. What do I do with it? Oh my God.
Wow.
That's, I wonder if there's regulations now. There probably are.
Yes, there are.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a doozy. A rare two-faced calf born last month at a Louisiana farm is flourishing despite the odds.
Did you see it? Is there a video? It's so cute.
I did not see it. There's no picture on the story.
Oh, okay. Keep reading. Sorry.
Okay, you're fine. A rare calf born with two faces, four eyes, two noses, two mouths, and two ears continued to flourish Thursday, 8 days after its birth at a Southwest Louisiana farm. The owners of the Bro Farms LLC, Breaux, I'm assuming Bro, in Croissanade, a community of about 90 miles west of Baton Rouge, said the calf, which appears normal from the ears back, was named Deux Face. Deux is French for two.
Oh, oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah. But I
I was
wonder
like,
how they pronounce it in Creole. Is it probably duh? Duh face? Dough face? Who knows? The chance of this type of birth is 1 in 4 million, Eric and Don Bro said in a post on Facebook. We know this calf will have a short lifespan and will most likely only live a few days, Don Bro said. She has beaten a lot of odds by being born alive. Most calves with polycephaly, the condition of having more than one head, are stillborn. I didn't know there was a condition and they had a name for it, polycephaly.
well, it happens a lot in animals, so
Yeah, I
yeah.
guess I for some reason I've never seen it. I've never. Huh. Some live for several hours or days. According to Ripley's Believe It or Not, oldest living two-faced calf survived for 40 days. At 8 days old, Duaface is making slow progress under the care of several veterinarians and the bros, the Facebook post said. She has trouble lifting her head, but is holding it up more and more as she is getting stronger. Don Bro said in an update. She is not standing on her own yet, but so she is unable to nurse on her mom. We have been bottle feeding her from the start. Doughface is using a sling for support as she works on building her leg muscles. An update from the Bros said they brought her brought her outside, to get some sun and a little time with the other cows. The calf is not for sale. In one of their updates, the Bros said they are not allowing any visitors or photos for the calf's safety and for her well-being and our privacy. We are not allowing any media involvement. They declined an Associated Press interview. She does not appear to be suffering or in any pain, another Facebook post said. We are monitoring her constantly and taking it day by day. She has beaten many odds, but only time will tell her fate. We are hoping for the best and preparing for the worst. This is the reality of caring for God's creations.
Oh, God's creations.
God's
But he
creations.
doesn't make mistakes.
Doesn't make mistakes.
Mm-mm.
Polycephaly, not a mistake.
No.
Nope.
It's so cute. So it has two faces but one brain. So when
Oh,
when one side is like sucking on the bottle, the other side's also like
oh, yeah, in
making the same
stereo.
motion.
That's cute.
That is cute.
I know you want a two-sided or two-headed cow now.
I want a two-headed anything.
I can tell you do. Yeah.
Well, the Boston molasses flood of 1919 is one of the great weird news stories of all time. It was a tragedy, 21 people killed, but also definitely weird. What happened in brief? A tank holding 2.3 million gallons of molasses burst, causing
Holy,
a 40-foot tsunami of molasses to flood through Boston's North End.
what?
Exactly why the tank burst and why the flood proved so deadly has always been a bit of a mystery. But now scientists have done their thing and have up with a few answers. November 26, 2016, interviewing the aerospace engineer Nicole Sharp. The historical record says that the Initial wave of molasses moved at 35 miles per hour, Mrs. Sharp said, which sounds outrageously fast. At the time, people thought there must have been an explosion in the tank initially to cause the molasses to move that fast. She added, but after the team ran the experiments, she said it discovered that molasses could indeed move at that speed. It's an interesting result, Mrs. Sharp said, and it's something that wasn't possible back then. Nobody had worked out those actual equations until decades after the accident. If the tank had burst in a warmer weather, it would have flowed farther, but also thinner, Mr. Rubenstein said. In the winter, however, after the initial burst, which lasted between 30 seconds and a few minutes, Miss Sharp said, the cooler temperature of the outside air raised the viscosity of the molasses, essentially trapping people who had not been able to escape the wave. So they got stuck inside of it because it cooled and then
Right.
died. So they probably died of like,
Asphyxiation
yeah. Oh, that's
from molasses.
terrible.
Could you imagine a
Oh,
40-foot wave of molasses?
no.
I mean, a 40-foot wave of water would be bad enough,
Right?
but
Oh,
molasses moving at 35 miles an hour,
this
40
sounds
feet in the air?
terrifying. And like, I'm just imagining breathing it in too, like how thick it is,
Right.
like
Yeah.
trying to breathe.
No, yeah, that's panic inducing.
So even if you like got out, it'd be like stuck on you and like,
Yeah, that would be tough. Why was it? This tank must have been up high, I'm assuming, to fall that
I
from a
mean,
height
it's
like that.
3 million gallons, so I'm
Right.
assuming so.
Because, like, yeah, that's, oh, how many people
Mhm.
died?
Or 2.3 million. 21.
21 people. Wow. Still, though, that's a lot of people. And um, that's a lot of molasses.
It's a lot of I wonder how they cleaned it up. They send
That's actually
cows
a
in.
really good. Send cows in. Oh my God, how would you clean up that much molasses?
I don't know.
I wonder if some is still there.
Maybe in the north end
100 years later,
they have
could there
some.
be molasses underground?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is the last one I have because
Okay.
we're hitting the stories from last time after this one.
Okay.
A small earthquake and Moodus noises are nothing new
Moodus.
for one Connecticut town. Don't
Moodus.
know what Moodus. We're gonna find out. Um, Donna Lindstrom was lying in bed and looking at her phone Wednesday morning when she heard a loud bang that rattled her 19th century house in the central Connecticut town of East Hampton. Soon, the 66-year-old retired delivery driver and dozens of other town residents were on social media discussing the latest occurrence of strange explosive sounds and rumblings known for hundreds of years as the Moodus noises. It was like a sonic boom, Lindstrom said. It was a real short jolt and loud. It felt deep, deep, deep.
Mm.
It was indeed a tiny earthquake with a magnitude of 1.7, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. Robert Thorson, an earth sciences professor at the University of Connecticut, said booms, rumblings, and rattling have been recorded in the East Hampton area, including the nearby village of Moodus, for centuries, dating back well before a larger earthquake recorded on May 16, 1791, knocked down stone walls and chimneys. In fact, Moodus is short for Macamudis or Macamudis, which means place of bad noises in the
Oh,
Algonquin dialects once spoken in the area. Yeah. A local high school has even nicknamed their teams the Noises in honor of that history.
the noises.
Uh-huh. The occurrences were frequent enough that the federal government, worried about the possible effect of seismic activity on the nearby now decommissioned Haddam Neck nuclear power plant, conducted a study of the Moodus noises in the late 1980s, Thorson said. What they found was that the noises were the result of a small but unusually shallow seismic displacements within an unusually strong and brittle crust, where the sound is amplified by rock fractures and topography, he said. There is something about Moodus that oh, that's weird. There is something about Moodus that is tectonic that is creating these noises there, Thorson said. And then there is something acoustic that is amplifying or modifying the noises, and we don't really have a good answer for the cause either. Thorson said there could be a series of underground fractures or hollows in the area that help amplify the sounds made by pressure on the crust. That's going to create crunching noises, he said. You know what this is like when you hear ice cubes break. It doesn't mean the area is in danger of a big quake, he said. Rift faults that we used to have here millions of years ago are gone, he said. We replaced that with a compressional stress. That stress, he said, has led to the crunching and the occasional bangs and small quakes associated with the Moodus noises. It's just something we all have to live with, said Lindstrom. I'm just glad I don't live in California.
That's weird. I wonder if it's the way that the land is shaped or
Yeah,
why it's so loud.
right?
I don't know. That's
We've
weird.
heard I've heard them around here too, and I think it's just this it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. All right. In 1916, Albert Bacon Pratt, that's his middle name, Bacon,
Bacon? Ooh,
of Linden, Vermont, was issued patent number 1183492 for a, guess what the invention was?
toilet seat.
No. Gun adapted to be mounted on the fired from the head of the marksman. The wearer fired the gun by blowing into a tube. Most of Pratt's patent application is fairly dry and technical, but here he offers his thoughts on some of the advantages of his invention. The weapon the weapon described has many advantages. The gun is automatically aimed unconsciously and incidentally to the turning of the head of the marksman in the direction of the target. In self-protection, one immediately instinctively turns the head in the direction of the attack to see the enemy, or in hunting towards any sound made by a nearby game. Thus, the gun is automatically directed towards the mark in the course of the first instinctive movement. With the gun thus aimed, the only further operation necessary is to fire the same The same is to blow through the tube and thereby expand the bulb and operate the trigger. This is accomplished entirely from the head of the marksman, leaving his hands and feet free, further to defend himself or for the purpose as desired. Under some circumstances, the gun can be fired not only without the use of hands and feet, but also without the use of the eyes of the marksman. For example, in hunting at night, if the animal made a sound in underbrush, the head of the marksman would be instinctively turned in the direction of the sound, and then the gun would be fired without the use of the eyes of the marksman. Pratt then pointed out that his invention is useful not only in combat but also in the kitchen. The crown se- the crown section of the helmet then detaches from the base of the helmet, may be inverted and used as a cooking utensil. The elongated hood projecting therefore for protecting the barrel of the gun, serving the handle therefore. Pratt claimed he likes the word therefore. He
yeah.
had solved the problem of recoil. The blowback causes the breech bolt to retreat and automatically cock the hammer, but the strong spring back of the breech bolt forces the same so quickly forward, again following the recoil, that the two movements naturalize one another so promptly that no so discomfort to the wearer results from the recoil. But I suspect he didn't have all the bugs ironed out, which must be why such a useful invention never caught on.
Yeah, I would imagine so. What on earth?
I feel like that'd be so heavy.
It would be so heavy. And imagine what, like, he would look like a total dingus with that on your head,
I'm gonna
and
send
then
you a picture of
also
it.
a tube in your mouth.
Yes, it is amazing. And yeah, you don't even have to have eyes. And it's good because the hat kind of covers your eyes. So it's probably a
Sure,
good
because it's so
thing.
heavy.
I bet it's heavy. It doesn't say how much it weighs.
But like, it's gonna.
I sent you a picture of what it looks like.
Okay. Oh my God.
It's so cute.
Oh, it,
It's a thing.
that is ridiculous. What if you sneeze and actually like blow into the tube as you sneeze and you just shoot at the ground?
I don't think you could look down that far with that hat on without it falling
It would probably
off,
fall off your head and then it would shoot you.
right?
It would
Oh,
fall to the ground and shoot. Oh my
I
God.
don't even know what to say. I'm glad that's not what we wear for shooting at
Yeah.
the range, or else I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be shooting.
No, all that would make some fun pictures.
Especially with what I wear to the range.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, about that.
Yeah. About that.
Uh, they love
So
me at
that's
the
been the
range.
yeah, that's been the news.
That's the news with Tyler and Jordan.
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 That's me.
And we hope to see you next time on
Well, wild and wacky news.
the weird and wacky news.